Life lessons, baby. I must admit, I enjoy a good story. And now, with AI telling these stories, there are so many more of them out there. With that being said, I do have a hard time believing some of the tall tales I hear, especially when it comes to the cheating wife stories. It's like they all follow the same formula. She leaves her phone open or gets a notification. He just happens to find out. He's devastated, but immediately starts devising a plan, which includes going to a lawyer who says, "Oh yeah, you have a solid case, but we need concrete proof." That's when the retired cop turned private investigator magically appears and just so happens to catch her in the act. Then it goes downhill from there. She gets served, the house was somehow already in his name, so she gets nothing. In the states where cheating factors into the division of assets, she gets the league minimum. Now that's a bunch of horse spit. Bro, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Look, during my divorce, things got so bad my ex-wife, aka mistake number 2 Terminator lawyer, broke both of my lawyers. That's right, I had 2. Broke the first one so bad I had to start defending myself, and the second one just said F it and quit his firm. Reality is this: if the judge doesn't like you, she could be a broke crackhead with Tourette syndrome, and 9 times out of 10, she's still breaking his pockets in half. Then you got the Reddit stories. The best ones always involve 2 siblings. One sibling gets showered with love and affection, while the other gets the life is hard treatment. But somehow, through all those hardships, the jilted sibling becomes wildly successful while the entitled brat struggles through life. The parents are always over the top babying that sibling too. Usually, the successful sibling buys a house, and suddenly the parents are like, "Oh, you need to share that with your adult sibling." Of course, the sibling already has kids, and if it's a woman, she married a bum that the parents are financially supporting. Next thing you know, the parents are demanding the successful sibling hand over the house they bought with their own money. Now that is as unrealistic as it gets. I don't care who you are. If I buy my own house and you try to take what's mine and what I paid for, yeah, you've got another thing coming. First off, if the parents were really that biased toward one child, by the time you become an adult, you'd peace out and never look back. With all that being said, I still listen to the stories. Sometimes I know they're fake, but I'm still riveted. At the end of the day, I have to quote Denzel Washington in Training Day. This is a newspaper. It's 90% bullshit, but it's entertaining. That's why I read it, because it entertains me. So yeah, that's why I listen to these stories, because they entertain me. Now, I'm not saying these stories can't be true. Some of them probably are, but a lot of them feel far-fetched. I can absolutely believe some antagonists are as unlikable as they're portrayed though. Shoot, half the time, I don't even understand how people can stand me. I once had a boss tell me, "I don't get it. They all think he's a great guy, but he's an asshole." It's like he transforms into Mr. Customer Service the very second he talks to clients. Which is true. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" Then hop on the phone like, "Hey there, Bob. When was the last time you rebooted your computer?" Haha, it is to laugh. Very funny. You're probably thinking, "Brian, we all have our moments. You can't be that bad." Oh, my friend, I can be just that bad. Hence, the story about how I dunked on an 8-year-old and his daddy. So I met the said victim a few years before the infamous dunk. Mistake number 2 introduced me to him as her cousin, which was hard to believe because he was asphalt black and she was light bright and almost polite. I'm no genealogist, but it was hard to look at them and go, "Yep, definitely cousins." Regardless, I met the guy and we hit it off. It's Friday and he says, "Let's go out." I look at my ex and she gives me the nod. I had been on punishment because of recent behavior involving my motorcycle, but that's a story for another time. So with my newfound freedom, we were out in the wind. Now, my spidey senses were telling me this man was trouble, but at the time, I embraced trouble So I was like, Spidey sense, be gone. Just outside of Lawton, there was this strip joint. See, Lawton had kicked all the strippers out. Something about morality. Anyway, we head down this winding dirt road until we finally get to the spot. Have you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn? There you go. Obviously no vampires, because I survived. And if you were curious about the movie and I spoiled it for you, too bad, your fault. You should have watched it already. Plus, Selma Hayek's performance was great. I mean, muy caliente. In an evil kind of way. Fast forward, we are inside the strip club. Man, these had to be the worst and or ugliest strippers ever. I mean, low expectation having, can I get $1, sir? Busted. This is the strip club your wife wants you to go to. However, one of the better looking strippers was dropping it like it was hot just for me. And I was like, it's about time. That's when I touched her leg. She immediately hit me with, no baby, no touching, it's against the rules. To make the situation worse, one of the bouncers rolled up on me talking about, you can't touch the girls. Him stuttering through his statement like his heart was pumping Kool-Aid. Then he proceeded to say, if you do it again, there may be a problem. Now this guy wasn't your typical bouncer. Maybe 150 pounds soaking wet, long hair, looking like a Willie Nelson throwback. I looked at the crew and said, let's bounce. This place is trash. Now I'm feeling some kind of way. I looked at the crew, gestured toward the door, so we finished our drinks, picked up somebody's potential rent payment, and left the club. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was heated. The fact that this dude even had the nerve to say something to me had me fired up. Was he out of line? No. Was what he said out of context? Also no. But when you're faded 10 to the wind, he might as well have called me the N-word with the hard R, because I was hot. You know the scene in movies when you know something is about to go down? That's where we are in this story. I stopped at the exit as if my pride physically wouldn't let me walk away without setting things straight. So I walked back in, made a beeline for the bouncer, leaned in, and whispered, I could F you up right now, because I know I can, but I won't, because I know I can. The look on his face was priceless. Like I said earlier, I was faded. So at the time, that sounded like one of the coldest lines ever spoken. My drunk cohorts were hyping me up like I had just delivered an impactful movie quote. Needless to say, we all made it back to the fort safe and sound. Fast forward about 3 years. I get stationed at Fort Hood, which just so happened to be where Cuzzo lived. He told me in my mistake number 2, we could stay with him and his family until our housing situation got worked out. Cuzzo was pretty cocky. He was fast-tracking through the system. Now I thought I had an ego, but his was twice the size of mine. One morning, he put his son's basketball goal up and they were doing some father-son bonding. Very touching moment. Cuzzo lowered the goal so his little boy could shoot. But here's the thing. Most people think low goals are for little kids. No, sir. Low goals are for short kings like me to create highlight reels for social media. Back then, social media was MySpace. What up, Tom? Anyway, they're playing around and I decide to join the shoot around. Before we go any further, let me provide some context. Cuzzo was about 5 feet 5 inches. At the time, I was an easy 5 feet 7.5. Yep, that half matters. His son was short as all get out too. At full height potential, that boy might have reached 5 feet 6 inches. Anyway, back to the story. The one-on-one starts off innocent enough. Then Cuzzo pulls a crossover move and starts having an Allen Iverson moment, shaking his head with his eyes all big. So I gave him space so he could shoot and I could snag the rebound. Remember, the goal was low. That matters in shot adjustment. As I back off, he shoots the rock. Beautiful jumper, excellent form, perfect execution. Until I blocked the shot, son, and launched the ball across the street. Talk about blatant disrespect. Oh yeah, if it wasn't on before, it was definitely on now. His poor little boy was just standing there trying to figure out what was happening. I get the ball back and take a lazy jumper. Well, Cuzzo returns the favor and blocks my shot, trying to one-up my block, then gives his son a high five, talking about, "That's how you play defense, son. Now remember, I told you from the jump that I'm an asshole. Remember when I said earlier in the story that pride wouldn't let me walk out the door? Well, pride wasn't going to let that indignation go. So now I'm at the top of the key, showing Cuzzo my handles. It's one of those moments when people realize some of us have a second gear. Cuzzo comes to guard me, still smiling from his dunk, and he's actually playing solid defense. Meanwhile, his son is under the rim, trying his best. Bless his little heart. Well, I fake a right, cross over to my left, go between the legs, back right. Oops, my bad, broken ankles. Cuzzo bit hard on the left. Now, a good man would have just pulled up for the clear jumper and call it a day. But I'm not that guy, and today ain't that day. I drove into the basket at full speed. Cuzzo realized I was going to dunk on his son. He steps in front of me, trying to shield his son, whose eyes are as wide as saucers. But it's too late. Matt Daddy was cleared for takeoff. Oh, at this point, I am clearly over the rim. His son just covered his face like bracing for impact. Boom! Posterized, baby. The basketball goal crashes to the ground. Both wives came outside to see what the heck just happened. Cuzzo's wife was hot, and my ex was embarrassed. She sees her son on the ground, clearly traumatized, and I'm standing over Cuzzo flexing. Needless to say, we were asked to leave a day early. Now, if you ask me after all these years later, whether I feel bad about dunking on an 8-year-old and his daddy, I'll tell you the same thing now that I tell you back then. Nope. Life is lessons, my boy. Life is lessons. Game over.